Blog Talk Radio.
Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Can't jam a needle! Can't jam a needle! Can't crush a needle! Been assassinator! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! A damn shot straight to your brain! Straight to your skull crack! You can stop the straight to your brain! Straight to your skull crack! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! I will fly high! 5-star frog splash! You can't stop me! 5-star frog splash! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! It's all about the yin and the yang, the balance, the power, the zen. You can't stop the yin and the yang, the balance, the power, the zen. Drop it down! The whole fucking show! Drop it down! The whole fucking show! I will levitate, flip, kick you in the air. I will decimate, you can prepare for. Drop it down, the whole fucking show. Drop it down, the whole fucking show. Drop it down! The whole fucking show! Drop it down! The whole fucking show! Drop it down! The whole fucking show! Drop it down! The whole fucking show!
Greetings, free thinkers. The hell's the day? Happy March 4th today. There has never been another you, motherfucker. Never been another you existing on March 4th, 2009. It hasn't happened. This is phenomenal. We're making it happen together. So, let's make the most of it. Tonight, I want to talk about the subject of the death penalty. Very controversial. We talked about it on RVD TV and have not brought it up on RVD radio yet. Everyone's got an opinion. If you don't know you have an opinion, think for a second, go, how do I feel about the death penalty? Boom, there you go. That's your feelings. Here's the deal, man. There's some monsters out there, some really, really bad people. They don't deserve to live. They deserve to die. My question is, do we have the right to kill them, or are we not killers ourselves now? If you murder a murderer, are you not a murderer? And it's not murder if everyone decides he's got to go, but someone's got that unfortunate job. Someone is the executioner, and that person no longer has virgin hands. He's got blood on his hands. He's killed. He's killed. Is killing right? Ending the gift, the miraculous gift that we don't even know how to recreate. It's a godsend, I do believe. And for all you atheists, you can debate me on that, but I think that life is a miracle, that we're all extremely blessed to be gifted with life, and, shit, it's temporary. When it's done, we're screwed. We don't know how to bring it back. We don't know how to create life by ourselves. We can expand on it now with cloning, which is awesome. But the death penalty, all right? I have a lot of people that listen to me. I have a lot of fans. I have a worldwide platform, and so I can reach a lot of people with a message. So here's the deal, all right? If you are one of these horrible people, such as the one that has kidnapped that little girl, Haley Cummings, then this message is for you, because they're looking all over for that girl. And who knows, man, maybe the person's RVD radio. Sorry, someone's calling in on the other line. They are so fucking rude. Here's the deal, though, all right? If you have Haley Cummings and you're listening to this, do the right thing. Or any little missing kid like that. Do the right thing, and we need to find her, give her up, and then don't clog up our jail systems. Kill yourself. Kill yourself. There you go. And do it in a way where you're not going to leave a mess for others to clean up. Be considerate when you're doing this. People like that are fucked up, man. They are wired in such a way you can't change their wiring. You can't. People are people. I can't help what I'm attracted to. I can choose my thoughts, but if I'm attracted to a certain shape of a female, I can't change that. If you're gay and you're attracted to the same sex, that's not something you can just change. You can shame yourself for it. You can teach yourself that, oh, this isn't what God wants. God hates me. I'll never get into heaven. Whatever your reason is, you can try to change. But that's the way you're wired. And I do believe that if you're wired to be turned on by looking at some underdeveloped bodies of adolescents, how the fuck are you going to change that? You can't go to a therapy class and get rid of that. You're fucked. It's in your wiring. If you're going to harm a fucking kid, just kill yourself, all right? That's what RVD says. And we'll go to the callers and see if they agree. Maybe someone will call in and tell me that they're going to take my advice and maybe help the world out a little bit. The unimaginable, unnecessary grief that's caused from a situation like that. There's the Haley Cummings. We've been watching that thing unfold. Ugly, ugly situation. Who the fuck can imagine their little 6-year-old or whatever she was taken from her bedroom, and then she's just gone. And if you watch enough of these shows, you know there's a good chance when you find that little girl, she's going to be dead. Someone last week got busted. It was already a registered sex offender, so he already had the ankle bracelet on, and they found him with the GPS in the field where he had just buried a little girl that he killed. The fuck good does that do? He's registered. He checked in before the fact. He checked in after the fact. He's covered. Killed a little girl. Tried to rape her. Apparently she laughed at him when he was unable, and he fucking killed her. Monsters like that, what do we do with them? That's where the death penalty comes along, right? I definitely do not believe that jail is appropriate for everyone that has broken the law. Fucking people like that. Guilfoyle, what was her name? Kimberly Guilfoyle on the Geraldo show that I was on. People like that think, oh, Michael Phelps broke the law, he should go to jail. No, he shouldn't. That's fucking ridiculous. The enforcers of that law should go to jail, if anything. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But it's a cage. We're talking about human lives. You don't put somebody in a cage over nothing just because it's within the parameters of your fucking job. A cage is for somebody that's violent, that's going to kill and fuck little kids, maybe in that order. And people that have crimes that make victims out of people and hurt innocent people. Put them in the fucking cage. Somebody that needs therapy, someone that needs drug counseling, you're going to fucking lock them up in a cage? What's that doing except for making billions of dollars for the fucking prison system. I just remembered I have a chat room, and I'm gonna look and see if I shocked everybody with my kill yourself monologue. So going back to Michael Phelps, all right, for a second. Busted with the smokeless water pipe. Huge fucking controversy. Everyone's screaming. Kellogg's drops him as a sponsor. I'm from Battle Creek, Michigan. A lot of people that I went to school with. Someone's calling in again. Oh, I better get that one. Fuck, I can't get that one. I can get that on a different phone. Sonya will be here in a minute. I'll have her calling back. That's the Hitman, Bret Hart calling. He's going to be a guest tonight. Sonya is on her way here. I will have her call him back and give him the number. So, anyway, expect the Hitman Hart to be coming up. I want to get his opinion on the death penalty. Here's the thing, all right? Here's the thing with marijuana. I know RVD never talks about marijuana, but it's very, very important. Last week was fucking phenomenal. Phenomenal. First off, on Tuesday, this Tom Amiano from San Francisco goes to Sacramento and says, hey, guess what? I got a plan to legalize marijuana for 21 years and over across the board, raise $1 billion in capital for the fucked up economy here in the state of California. All right, well, let's look at that. While they're looking at it, and we know that we would still have federal recourse to worry about, Obama finally comes through with his commitment and ends wasting our federal resources to chase down and arrest and harass marijuana patients. So now, in case you didn't know, as of last Thursday, the new American policy is compliant with state law. That means here in California that marijuana dispensaries are a legitimate business. They'll be looking at the tax revenue raised from that, and they'll compare that to what they would make if they lifted the doctor's recommendation off of it and allowed it for everyone, 21 and over. In the meantime, this is very historical. It was 1970 that Richard Nixon declared the Controlled Substance Act. And even before that, since 1937, marijuana has been outlawed. Right now, if you live in California and you have a doctor's recommendation, you are completely 100% fucking covered. No longer do you have to lie and say, no, officer, there's no marijuana in my car. You can say, sure, dude, I got it in the back. I'm bringing my medicine home. Here's my card. Awesome. And the reason that it's very, very, very important is for the movement right now with the economy in the shithole. This is how we got out of the Depression in the 30s. We ended alcohol prohibition. People still drank, but they made all the money underground. Al Capone, all the gangsters, fuck that. Take pot off the streets. Let the drug dealers go back to their shady shit. Control, regulate, make money, and do honest research and look at it for real. You know, what is this fucking plant full of lies and controversy? So that's major, guys. Major, major, major. That right now, federal law, after years of denying any medical properties are in marijuana whatsoever, they said it was just a harmful addictive drug. Now they say, oh, guess what? Okay, well, it is medicine if your doctor says it is. And here's the deal. I don't mind telling you this. In California, almost any adult can get a med card. I don't mind telling you that. The wide range of benefits for adults will reach out to most adults. You know, if you have sleeping disorders, if you have stress, who the fuck doesn't have stress? It's fucking huge, all right? So, you know, everyone's going to have to smarten up. Everyone's going to have to come around, and everyone's going to have to eventually say, wow, Rob, I used to give you shit for talking about it all the time, but now it's not a dirty, hidden thing anymore. It's fucking legit. It's helping people, and oh, my God, it's bringing in money. There you go. This is fucking historical. The little girl in Florida, fucking Casey, I guess Casey's the mom. What the fuck's her last name? Casey Thompson? Casey Smith? Yes, Kaylee Anthony. Thank you. I know if I looked in my chat room. Big news today that the prosecutors say they are not going after the death penalty. What's up with that? A lot of people, even if they don't believe in the death penalty, because people act out of their emotions, they still want to see that girl fry. because the little girl, the innocent, sweet little girl whose life she ended, people that don't even believe the death penalty want to see her die. Prosecutors aren't going after that. Holy cow, that's good for us here at RVD Radio because it just goes along with our topic. All right, so I'm going to go to the phone to put Sabu through. What up, Sabu?
Hey, what's up, Rob?
I just got a message you were at the gym. What are you doing, talking to me on the treadmill?
I'm walking to the gym.
Aha.
You know, so my battery might die.
Your battery might die, but not because you're sentencing it to death, just because it's its time, right?
What?
Never mind, I wasn't worth it.
I'm stoned as shit, and I'm walking to the gym, and boom, boom, boom. The battery might die.
Well, cool, man. We appreciate
I'll hang in there as long as I can.
Okay, cool. Well, then I'm going to look at the switchboard and go to some other callers, man, and got a bunch of shit to talk about, as we always do. Sonya's currently on her way to the studio lines from L'Oreal, but she's not here right now. Sabu, you from Michigan, right by Battle Creek. I was just saying before I rudely got interrupted that a lot of my friends that I grew up with, a lot of the families, a lot of Battle Creek, Michigan counts on Kellogg's to fucking support them. I mean, that's pretty much what the whole town survived on was, you know, when I was there. And fuck it. Kellogg's trying to keep people in the dark, trying to hold progress back, dropping Michael Phelps as an endorsement. I'm no longer going to be buying Kellogg's products. From what I understand, from all the Howard Stern encouraged this, MPP encouraged this. There's a lot of people that are protesting and not buying Kellogg's, and I saw an article said that it's actually hurting their sales, like their sales are taking a dip. I said good for them. Because they took a stance. They went it out and said, okay, boom, here's where we stand on it. And because they did that, there's consequences for it, and I'm happy with that. Did you know, Sabu, that last week Eric Holder, the fucking Attorney General, changed American policy to comply with state laws on medical marijuana?
No.
Huge news. Michigan as well. You live in Michigan, and as you know, they recently became one of the 13 states. We got like 4 more, by the way, that are going to jump on real soon here. You're one of the more recent states to join the medicinal marijuana program, and the constant fear, as you knew it, was that even if the doctor recommends it for you, the feds can come in, the DEA, and override state law because they've always said, bullshit, it's not medicine, it's a dangerous, harmful drug. That's always been the case. That's no longer the situation.
Right.
As of now, if you have a doctor in Michigan that recommends marijuana for you, he gives you your card, you are completely covered, and Obama and his federal government are complying and saying, okay, buddy, you're good to go.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to help educate people on because it's major, and if I don't tell everybody, I doubt that they're going to be offering that information up to everybody on their own because there's still going to be a lot of haters, and they're going to have to adjust because little by little, more states are going to do this, and it's going to get legalized even without the doctor's recommendation. It's going to help us out of this shithole economy situation that we're in, and it's going to take the money off the streets. You know, why make all the drug dealers in the black market money when you can put that into the economy where it needs it and stop fucking harassing and arresting people? Yeah. So that's major, and that's major. And we're also talking about the death penalty, Sabu. How do you feel about the death penalty, dude?
I'm for it.
You're for it. Yeah, so it's a state by state. That's one of those things, you know, I think that's a state law where, again, the federal government, you know, I mean, they always have that power to override. But
right, under circumstance. You know,
it has to be correct circumstances, right? I mean, obviously, the first question that comes to mind is, okay, what if you're wrong? What if a guy says he's innocent all the way to the chair and you fry him, and then later on you find out, oh, our bad, he was innocent, because that has happened.
Yeah, you're right about that too. But like a child crime, that should be death.
Yeah, that's always in the news. That's you know, right now with Haley Cummings and with
but if you're caught cut and dry, you should fry.
Okay, but now where do you draw the lines? If you touch a little girl, do you die, or do you have to actually like penetrate her?
I don't know. Both.
Both. Okay. Well, now that brings to mind a question. You know, then you got to figure out how old and what do you consider touching. I don't know if you've seen this footage. I can't wait to talk to Officer X. Actually,
I thought he killed her.
Well, I don't know who he is that you're talking about specifically. I'm not sure who you're talking about, but right now in the news, it's big news right now that Kaylee Anthony will not get the death penalty, you know, and that's like got a lot of people.
Killed her baby. That's
she
why.
Killed her fucking baby. Prosecutors are looking at life in prison.
Well, she killed her baby. That's death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's the time right there.
By the way, SVD has just joined us. Hi, baby.
Hi, everybody. Sorry I'm late.
Sonia.
Traffic sucks.
How are you, baby?
I'm good. How are you doing, Sabu?
I'm good. I'm walking to the gym, freezing cold.
Ooh.
Well, I hope you get the most out of that cold up there because it is beautiful in Cali.
Well, I'll go to Puerto Rico tomorrow. I'm going to Puerto Rico tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Hey, Conan has called me. You probably gave him my number and told him to call me about Wrestling Mexico.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's all right. I'll talk to you about that. Damien also called 666. We might work something out. I don't know. Is Mexico even safe for us to go to right now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fun there.
Yeah, Sonia's a little scared. She says State Department's recommending Americans to not even fucking go to Mexico. I thought about
what? I didn't know that.
Dude, they kidnap us and shit like that. To hold you for ransom.
They're not kidnapping me.
Yeah, that's what Ray said when I talked about this a couple years ago. No, they like wrestlers. Yeah, I think we're worth money. Yeah, oh yeah, Ray moved his family out of there, I guess, for safety too. Dude, we tell so many stories on this show that non-listeners are just not privy to. Also on the line, I got a bunch of calls, as I always do. If you all hold, I will eventually get to all of you. But I want to talk to Officer X. Are you with me, Officer X?
How you doing, Officer X? I'm innocent.
He's not talking to us tonight, man. Officer X, why won't you speak?
Because you don't want to lie to you. You'd rather say nothing.
Last chance, Officer X. I want to get your opinion on something. All right, I don't know. Let me.
All cars. I'm stoned, man. I'm stoned. I'm stoned to the gym.
I always forget I have my AIM window open. Then I look, and Nikki's giving me all this information over the last 20 minutes. I got to catch up on. All right. Well, Officer X, hopefully we'll come back. We lost him. Maybe he had to go chase after somebody. I want to get his opinion on this footage. You know, Sabu, you're saying if you touch a little kid, you die straight up.
No. Listen, you touch her and kill her, you die. That's
okay. So my first question is, what if she doesn't die? What if she doesn't die? And, oh, my God, Harry Slash just instant messaged me and said the Ringling Brothers Circus canceled all their shows in Mexico. Let me find Harry and go to him because I don't know if I should take this booking. Harry Slizass, our correspondent from New York. What's up, dude?
Yo, what's happening, RVD?
Hey, Harry.
Yo, Sabu.
What's up, brother?
Sonia's here, too.
Hi, Harry.
Hey, Sonia, how are you, girl?
So the Ringling Brothers Circus canceled their shows in Mexico. Is it because it's dangerous for Americans there?
I have a friend that works with Ringling Brothers, and she was supposed to do
of course.
2 weeks. Yeah, you guys remember Monkey Girl. She ran
She ran
away to join the circus. They were supposed to do like 6 weeks down in Mexico, and Ringling Brothers canceled the show because tourists at the border are being killed. Some are being held hostage for as little as $20.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen to me and Rob.
No, you guys might be okay, more than likely.
No, not might. We will.
Okay, you will because Rob's an action hero, and
No.
Yeah, no, but here's the thing, Sabu. Like, when I go places, I like to bring Sonya. I mean, that has a lot of value in it for me, being able to take her. And, you know, if I'm in the ring working, I'm going to have to worry about her, you know, where I can see her with security around her, or else she could get nabbed.
You're right. I forgot about that element. You're right.
Well, here's the thing. You guys would be flying, and there are people that are driving over the border that are getting, you know, kidnapped. That the drug lords...
Well, we're not going to drive over the border. We're going to fly, and it'll be all taken care of.
Yeah, so you guys will be okay because you're going to be going from the airport to the hotel to the venue and what have you. But
wherever. I've been there a million times, Harry.
Yeah, I know. But for the average person that's like driving in or taking the bus in or something like that, the north part of Mexico is really bad right now, from what I've been told.
They're looking for bombs.
Sabu, don't get into another screaming frenzy on this week's RVD radio.
I talked about because I didn't think you'd hear me. I'm outside.
No, just all right. So yeah, I don't know. A little concerned about the Mexican trip. Kind of threw me off from what we were talking about too. But that's always the case. Fonzie's got to be calling in too. I hadn't heard from him in a while, and then he called in earlier, so that's cool. No, so you were explaining, Sabu, about you know, touch a girl, and if she dies, you die. Okay, but what if she doesn't die? Where do you draw the lines? Like, for instance, say you have a 6-year-old little girl, and you find out some asshole kidnapped her, had her for 2 days, and she returns. She's still alive, but she's the victim of 2 days of fucking, you know, this pervert, you know, poking her in every hole, and she's traumatized. I mean, as the dad, of course, you want to kill that guy, but is that the right thing to do, do you think? Put him to death?
Yes.
If she dies, yes.
You missed my point. She didn't die.
If she didn't die, no, not death.
So she comes back, molested, traumatized, you know, scared, ashamed, but she's able to live. Then you think the guy should just be in a cage to think about what he did for the rest of his life, or what?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not an easy call. I understand where the death penalty, you know, is a lot of people's preference for a situation like that. But I have to wonder that
God is the only one who really makes death.
God's the only one. Yeah, but what about death penalty? I mean, the whole thing with the, you know, when we put murders in death.
That's out of my hands. You're saying pick one or the other.
Well, okay, because it's our choice. But we put the girl to death. Or I'm sorry, if we put let's say he kills her, we put the murderer to death. We're not really letting God decide, are we?
No. But it's out of my hands. That part's out of my hands.
All right.
Blood on these hands.
Hey, Sabu, pick a hand.
She said she was 18.
Okay. All right. Let me go to big guest here at RVD Radio again this week. Welcome, Brett the Hitman Hart.
How you doing, Rob? Good to hear from you.
Hey, Brett. What's up, brother?
Is that Sabu?
That's Sabu.
Yes.
Good to hear from you, buddy.
Good to hear from you.
And I got Sonya here, too. Hi, Brett.
Hey, Brett.
Hey, Sonya. How are you?
I'm doing great.
What cheery topic are we on today?
Okay. A few things. One thing, let me let this guy in here real quick, too. Justin, I see you on there. Hold for 1 second. JMC, because I want to see if Officer X will come through. I need to get a official answer here. Officer X.
He'll clue you in, Brad. He'll clue you in.
Can you hear us or not, Officer X? Oh my God! And then he's going to instant message me.
Still not there?
Yeah, from you. He's here, but I don't know why I can't talk to him.
He's probably locked up.
Hey, Blog Talk Radio producer Nikki, help me out with Officer X, and don't let him through until we can hear him this time. I see he's on line 16. I'm talking to him. I got him unmuted.
What's up, buddy?
Oh, now you talk. Now I had to get Nikki on your ass before you fucking open up.
Yeah, I got to go to the gym.
All right, listen. I got Officer X on the line. I got Sabu on the line. I got Brett the Hitman Hart on the line, and Harry Slash is even still online. I'll mute him because Harry just hangs out and listens, and that'll free up some memory. All right, here's the deal. First off, Brett.
Rob, I got to go to the gym. I'll call you back in 40 minutes.
Oh, you cowered it out of it, man.
You
just. Oh, okay, cool, dude. Have a good workout.
All right, 40 minutes. I'll call you back.
All right, dude. We'll be here.
All right, peace.
Peace, you're still with me, right, Brett?
I'm still here, Rob.
Okay.
You can always rely on me.
Okay, good. I appreciate that. Shizzy. And Justin, I'm going to let Justin through to take Sabu's place because he's right here. Good friend, UFC's mixed martial artist, Justin Sano. What up, JMC?
Orderly, brother. How are you? Good to be on the show as always.
Yes, say hi to Sonia, Officer X, and Brett, the Hitman Hart.
What's up, everybody? How's it going?
Hey, everything's going good.
So, hey, what's up? Are we talking about the death penalty subject? Are we on that one still?
We are. I wanted to educate Brett real quick in case he doesn't know, and then I'm going to get right back to death penalty. So hold your thought. Brett, did you know that last week the Attorney General changed the American policy so that medical marijuana is no longer illegal by federal government if it's legal by the state?
Yeah, I did hear that.
Okay, I wanted to make sure you knew because that's huge news in the movement, and you got to know I'm really happy about that. Here in California and 12 other states, if the doctor gives you a card that says medical marijuana can help you, you have no federal recourse to fear from the feds coming in and saying, bullshit, we're going to arrest you and harass you anyway. So that's major. And me and Justin talked about that a lot. Now Justin's got a comment for the death penalty, which, by the way, Brett, that's our cheery subject for today, the death penalty. Today it's all over the news because of this Casey Anthony. She is not going to get the death penalty, according to the news. Prosecutors are seeking life in prison. And, you know, that's a controversial subject. It takes a lot of feelings to, you know, to pull them out and figure out what your position is on it. I mean, morally, is it right to kill somebody even if they are a monster and, you know, and deserve to not be in society? Or are you the killer too if you kill them? Brett, you know, I'm interested to know where you stand, not just with this girl, but let's take her for example. If she's found guilty of killing that sweet, innocent little girl that, of course, America has fallen in love with now from seeing her on the news, and, like, threw her body and tried to discard her like she's a piece of trash, just hide her, what does she deserve? Does she deserve to be put to death?
Oh, I think, yeah, I'm all for the death penalty, for certainly in cases like that where there's a lot of, and as long as it's, I think the evidence is important always in a, you know, but once someone's guilty of the really heinous murders and stuff like that, I don't have any problem having them executed, and I think they're doing everybody a favor, including themselves, letting themselves be executed. I don't know that there's much of an excuse for that. But
the first question that comes to my mind is, if it's gonna be okay, but just with the heinous crimes, then who's to say which crimes are the most heinous? Like, for instance, if you're in Singapore and you get caught with one marijuana roach, you can get hung. Obviously, to us, that sounds crazy. To them, that seems okay. Like, that seems normal to their culture. You know, there's lines that need to be drawn, and we can't count on anybody else's judgment.
Yeah, but if some guy has the ability or the capability of strangling a little 4-year-old girl with his own hands and while he's sexually raping her or something like that, I mean, somebody that fucked up needs to be eradicated anyway for his own benefit. You know,
yeah, no doubt about it. Justin Sano, you being the father of a little girl, don't want you to have to imagine being in a situation like that, but is it safe to assume that you believe that guy should, if nothing else, at least be killed, if not tortured first?
That's very safe to say. You never know until something like that happens to you, and I could never imagine what it would be like. But I do think about it all the time. It's a common disease in communities today. They have a lot of child molesters living in society. We let these people back into society. They intermingle with our friends, wives, daughters, moms, children, And it's a scary thing. I agree with Brett. If you have the ability to put your hands around a little one's neck or do rude and lewd things to them, then you're probably doing society a favor by being eliminated from the planet. And personally, I don't like to share air with these people. And if they need a person to step up and take care of these guys, I'd be the one to do it. You know what I mean? I have no problem eliminating these guys from the planet. I feel very seriously about this, especially considering that 99.9% of these guys reoffend. And a lot of these guys that have been let out have reoffended 16, 17 times. And those are only the ones they get caught for, and who knows the lives that they've affected that they've never been caught for, and a lot of the world will never know. So, yeah, if we could eliminate these guys and get them away from our innocent children and, you know, everybody else that could be affected by them, I think it's a great thing.
They don't seem to be reprogrammable. There we go.
Yeah. No, yeah, they have all these bureaucracy programs set up for counselors to take people's money and the state's money, taxpayer money, to try to rehabilitate these guys, but they never rehabilitate them. So what are we doing? We're just wasting our money year after year, day after day, paying for these supposedly fix these guys' minds who have a zero success rate. And what do we do that for? How long is it going to take us to realize that we're putting ourselves in jeopardy just to try to heal somebody that's unhealable? It's ridiculous. It's like putting
Justin, before you called and before Brett called, also I was telling this story earlier all over the news. This guy, already a registered offender, tried to rape this girl. Apparently she laughed at him when he couldn't do it, so he killed her. And they found him in the field where he had just buried her body with their GPS because he had his ankle bracelet. He was already registered. He checked in before and after the fact. He checked in. So what fucking good does that do, right?
Exactly. These people are monitored and they're still offending. They're dangerous to society. You can't have people like that running around. It's not safe. I mean, just imagine something happens to somebody you know, somebody in your family. You know, say something happens to my daughter, RVD, and I know you're very against the death penalty and things like that, but imagine my daughter, Alexandria, something, God forbid, happened to her like has been in the news lately. Would you want to kill the guy? I mean, would you want to go and break his neck and snap him off a little bit?
I absolutely would, and you're incorrect with knowing that I'm against the death penalty. I just think it's something to think about, that's all. It definitely has its place. But let's compare today's society with, say you're Louis VIII or whatever, back when it was okay for him to chop off his wife's head, you know, because she was not a good wife or whatever. And that was a job back then. You were an executioner. That was a legitimate job. You'd fill out an application, you know, maybe you do a little tryout audition, you know, and chop some watermelons up like Gallagher. And then when you get the job, you stand there with an axe and you chop people's heads off. Now, I think even if these are really bad people that deserve to be killed, I think, okay, that's a good thing. But the man that's chopping those heads off, if there's a God and if the story goes like the Bible, that guy's not getting into heaven. He's going to be knocking on the door with bloody hands. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You know, when we think about it.
Unless he was sent to be God's wrath, you never know. And who are we to judge? It's not for me to judge. Maybe his life mission was to clean up the world and to rid the planet of as many bad souls as he could, and for that he's earned his way into heaven. For that he's gone through his test that God put before him, and he did the dirty deed that God needed him to do, and now he'll be rewarded in heaven. I mean, all religions are different, right?
Right, that's a whole, in theory. I was just saying in theory. Like, yeah, I don't think, you know, whatever, heaven and people being in heaven, that doesn't even go with a lot of religions. I was just saying in theory, the way that the traditional way, I was saying that man, the man that pulls the switch, the man that fires the gun, you know, the man that actually, it's his job to put you to death. I'm just saying, like, that guy, that executioner, you know, it's even though the people he's got the people's hands, so to speak, but still you can compare him to a vigilante, somebody like me going out and breaking somebody's neck because they hurt somebody that's a friend of mine, and basically from a moral point of view, It seems the same to me. Brett, I wanted to ask you a question. Being the hitman, I used to always think, with the hitman, that makes me think of an assassin. Also, like the executioner, that's a job that somebody could have where they take money and they go and they kill somebody. It could be somebody that they don't know about. It's just a contract, Okay, you're giving me $500,000 and I got to, shoot this guy that's 2 blocks away through my sniper scope, no problem. Now, with that, they're just doing their job, but obviously, if they're killing somebody that needs to be put out because that person is bad for society, isn't that kind of like the same thing, just without winning a vote?
Well, I think when you're hired to kill somebody as compared to, as a hitman, and as comparable to someone that's hired by the community to basically do the job of executing somebody. I don't think they're the same thing at all. I don't think one is a murder and the other is a act that's done to benefit the rest of society.
Okay, I can appreciate that, but to me, I kind of see society, or government rather, as just a bigger version of every little mob or mafia gang. They're just the ones that won. They're the bigger scale mafia gang that controls everything. Everything about the way they operate, the way they keep competition out, the way they monopolize, the way they capitalize, everything about the government seems to me just like the way Al Capone used to do it with his own little army, his own little government, except it's on a much bigger scale, So in that respect, I mean, just because if you were in a gang and you got the people, all behind you, everyone in your gang, you got 40 members saying, yeah, man, look, you got to do it, man. You got to smoke Justin, man. He got to go out tonight. Then it's business. That's kind of like being the executioner and your boss saying, hey, guess what? You're on the lever tonight. Isn't it? Kind of?
Like Sopranos or something like that. Once you sign on for that life, you sign on for that life. It's not quite the same. Once you...
Right. I still think we should do the experimental medicine deal with those people.
What, castration? Chemical castration?
No. Like, these guys are the lifers in prison. If we got to pay to feed them, we got to pay for their medical care and their housing and everything. And I agree with you 100%, Justin. They cannot be rehabilitated. If your orientation is towards children, that's what it is. So rather than do that, they should do, try heart transplants or brain transplants or blood factories. If we want to keep them alive, we might as well use them for something.
That's true.
No, honestly, I mean, you cannot rehabilitate these child molesters. It's 110% impossible. Rob, we've talked about this before. I mean, if you like women, you like women. If you like guys, you like guys. If you like kids, you like kids. There's nothing you can do. You can't reprogram that.
That's the scariest part about it. 100% the scariest part about it is knowing that these people will never, ever change their view. You can never change their view. That's proof enough that they need to be eliminated for me. And officer,
that's right,
that's a great point. If you want to use these people, maybe use them kind of like farm them out for goods. Yeah, maybe organ transplants, guinea pigs for new drugs and things like that. Instead of testing rats, maybe we could test these guys because they're kind of like rats anyways, right?
Might as well.
They're kind of our Officer X. Earlier when I was talking to Sabu, he was talking about, maybe you touch a kid, you should die. You were saying yourself, if you molest a kid, that's it. But molest usually refers to something of the sexual nature. What if it's abusing a kid and it's not sexual? Where do you draw the line? Did you happen to see the...
Wow.
What was that? Whoa, hold on. Officer X, have you seen the footage that plays on the news right now of that cop that's beating the shit out of the 15-year-old girl in the holding cell?
What?
Officer X.
No, but that was just bad film and shitty camera angles and stuff.
Dude, did you see that?
No, I didn't see it, obviously. No, I didn't.
Okay, because it's playing all over the headline news right now. Okay, well, I don't know. Justin, did you see that? It's going to be hard to talk about.
I, as a matter of fact, did see it, and she got a little ass whooping, but apparently maybe she deserved it. You know what I mean? She landed herself in jail right before the officer assaults her. she kicks her shoe off at him and obviously says something really, really bad that obviously the audio didn't pick up and nobody has any idea on. And, but him running her across the room, slamming her into the wall, and then down onto her face and punching her that last 2 times, maybe might have been a little excessive. But, again, you're not in the scenario. You don't know what she said, how heated she got him. And perhaps that was just it coming around to her. And maybe she won't think about talking to officers like that when she's in their house like that. Because basically, when you're in an officer's custody and you're in jail, I don't recommend saying anything that's not kind to him. Because bottom line is, they have the right to fuck you up. Excuse my language. And if they do so, you're at the mercy of them, and they can start beating you and stop beating you whenever they want. And not to say that that's a good thing or a bad thing, but you know that going in there. And if you don't know that going in there and you suffer the consequences, that's on you. She's lucky there was a camera there to pick it up, and she's got her defense, and she'll probably end up getting paid quite nicely off of this, unfortunately. But that's just the way it goes. You know, cameras are a good vehicle to protect citizens from abuse from the law enforcement. But, again, sometimes you get what you deserve, so we'll see what happens.
But,
yeah,
here's the deal, I've seen a million of those tapes.
Justin holds the possibility that something that she could have said could have validated that ass whooping. I personally think that regardless of what she said, I don't care if she talked about the guy, his mom, whatever, I don't think anything could have provoked an ass whooping like that from somebody of authority. Now,
when I was that age, I was about 15, I said something really shitty to my mom. I kicked my shoe at her. My brother came and body slammed me on the kitchen floor. He didn't punch me, but it felt like quite an ass whooping because I couldn't breathe after he slammed me down. That was my older brother. He's like 9 years older than me.
Well, thank you for sharing that, baby.
I just want to say something.
Go ahead, Brad. We'll let you through.
If the police are the ones that are not holding up the law, I mean, who is? I mean, they can't just go beating somebody up for something they say.
No,
you can't lose their tempers like that. They can't be especially on a little girl or a young kid or a little old lady or whatever. They know their limits, and when they go off, they're just as human as anyone else, but they have to suffer the same consequences. I mean, they can't just go beating people up because they got a badge.
No, exactly. That's what bothers me, and that's what.
Can I explain this, please?
That's why you're on the air. Go ahead, Officer.
Oh, hold on. Let me get my marking out of the way. Brett, loved your book, best wrestling book I ever read. Now here we are, right? Any situation, like, say that girl, and I didn't see it, and I've seen it a million times in the past, right? It's so hard to control a little while. It's easier to grab it. I mean, Justin's fought people. Brett, you fight people. Rob's fight people. It's easier to control a 240-pound guy than a 90-pound woman, a million times, right? And it's even more difficult to get them under control without hurting them. If you just take them and you give them a dynamic punch to the throat, ball game, and it doesn't look as bad on tape. It's when you go light and you try to hold their hands and this and that, you end up banging them 15 more times. That's probably, I would say, has something to do with it.
Officer X, you got to check this out because there was nothing light about it. He took this girl and ran her all the way across the room from the cell door to the back cell wall, jammed her up against the wall, and then threw her on her face and punched her a couple times. It was pretty devastating.
And then after that, after he cuffs her and her hands are fucking bound, he literally picks her up off the ground by her hair to a standing position and pushes her out the front door. It's definitely uncalled for. So I start to wonder, okay, she was 15. I'm sure she was sassy, and obviously she pissed him off. What if that girl was 6? What if she was a little 6-year-old and the guy's fucking punching her and slamming her?
What if she was your daughter?
And people would be all over that motherfucker.
No, the guy's
what if she was your daughter?
But you know what, Brett, the guy's got to have a screw loose because he must work there, and he obviously knows his camera's in there. I mean, the guy must have just lost it.
He definitely just lost it, and I don't know. This might get a bad hit, but they might want to test him for some roids because he raged out pretty hard on that chick. But she looked strong. She looked like she could handle it. She definitely didn't look like any weakling or any small girl. She didn't look like she'd skipped a meal anytime soon. So I'm sure she just bounced up and she was fine afterward anyway.
A lot of it is though too, Justin, right? I mean, you're a fighter, right? A lot of it is poor police training because if they taught guys how to choke people out, how to do more dynamic moves and allow them to do that, there'd be a lot less squirming around with these people too.
100%. It would have been very nice just to see him give her a smooth double leg takedown, just like a back trip or something, climb up on her back, choke her out, and then put her in the cuffs. You know what I mean? No, I'm just kidding. But really, no, you're right. They're totally undertrained, and that's the scariest part about it. You know, some of these officers, they encounter some very, very dangerous individuals, and they're scared too. You know, you never know what these people are going to do, and you're putting them in a cage, and they're up against the wall, and they might fight and scratch and claw and try to get their way out of there. So you definitely have to have the utmost training in controlling these people and getting them, you know, where you need them without letting them flail and spaz out to a degree of danger.
I think obviously the correct procedure would have been to throw her on the ground and put her in a sharpshooter.
RVD, motherfucker!
It always worked for me, Rob.
Yeah.
The most dangerous thing that people don't realize in those situations, right, this is what no one seems to get, is there's a gun in every single police fight. Anytime a cop fights with someone, there's a gun sitting there. No one ever realizes. You know how many cops get killed by their own gun every year? More than don't.
Yeah, that's a topic for another show that I'd like to do sometime too, is, you know, get everybody's feelings on guns, because every gun is a fucking killing machine. The thought that everybody should have a right to own their own killing machine, it blows my mind away. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of.
Do you really want to save it for another day, or do you want to get into that now? Because I think everybody needs one. If the government can have one and the cops can have one, everybody should have one. Because how do you protect yourself against tyranny of the government, and how do you protect yourself against the criminals who have them illegally? If you take the guns out of the citizens' hands, you have a close to anarchy as you've ever seen. Look at Australia right now. They implemented huge gun laws a few years back, and they have the highest crime rate they've ever had in the history of the country. So I don't think that gun control is answered.
By the way, Justin, myself, and Chris Master talked about gun control on RVD TV, which is now on the RVD TV DVD Volume 1, which is for sale at robvandam.com.
RVD TV watchers have complete, unlimited access to the Extreme Archive Vault, containing every episode ever fucking filmed.
Bret Hart, I know you're going to back me up on this. Let's say we have 300 million people just in this country, okay? Give everybody a gun. How much does the murder rate skyrocket? Because now every idiot that likes to lay on the horn and flip you off just because they think, you know, that you should have waited till there was more space, or somebody, you know, thinks that you fucking done them wrong, will just pull out a gun and shoot. People are fucking stupid. Should we give everybody a killing machine, something that they can end people's lives with just by pulling a trigger before they think?
No, I'm all for like in Canada where they have gun control. It's to me it's a no-brainer. I mean, you want to know, a lot of people lose their cool tempers. You talked about that cop a few minutes ago. Like, people just snap and lose it, and sometimes if the gun's around, maybe it would be better for everybody if there was no gun there.
Dude, yeah, obviously, and that's the thing, is I understand we can't go back to zero right now. I do get that dilemma. It would have been much better if we never fucking invented guns, and then it wouldn't be so easy to kill somebody. You wouldn't have 7-year-olds in the news for killing their dad's fiance because they couldn't do it. They would not have the strength to do it without these killing machines, you know. But now we do have them. They're out there, and if we outlawed them and said, okay, guns are illegal, everybody turn them in, I get the problem there. Then the outlaws would keep the guns. We'd be in trouble. However, giving everybody a gun, that's the opposite of the solution. That just makes it way worse. So we do have to figure out how to control them, how to make sure people are qualified before they get a license to own a gun. And I'm all for harder punishments with guns. I hate it when there's a gun involved and people act like it's nothing. They'll say, oh, this guy had to do jail just because he had a bag of weed in his car. I'm like, bullshit. Did he have a gun? Well, yeah, he had a gun too. Well, there you go. And if you have a gun,
whoa.
Hold on, let me get this in. Don't make me mute you. If you point, all right, I am muting you. If you put a gun at me, if you point a gun at me, you, sir, are risking my life. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's the way that I feel, and I don't feel like it's your right to put my life in danger like that. So anytime you pull a gun on me, I'm ready for attempted murder, or put me in the situation where I could have been murdered, reword it so it's a whole new crime or whatever. Go ahead, Officer X.
Yeah. I'm with you 100% on that. Guns, people don't need them. They really don't need them. It's not like we're out hunting for our prey anymore. And I'm a firm believer in the less access people have to guns, the less senseless killings there are. I don't know how many times I've been to shootings where kids shoot kids on corners because they got guns. If they didn't have the thing, or if they didn't have it on them, if they had to go home and get it, that might not have happened. And there's no shortage of idiots that people trade guns for real bad drugs.
Yeah, people are stupid. Now, tell Justin that you don't have to be 15 years old to be strong enough to pull a trigger.
No, little kids can pull triggers.
I see it all the time.
Justin, what do you need a gun for? I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, if anyone doesn't need one, you don't. I mean, people don't. People.
He wants to fight the government. Have a gun. He wants to have a gun in case the government knocks on his door. Tell him how crazy he is.
He's nuts. Send the Rufo brothers after them. They'll take care of it. He's nuts.
Yeah.
I don't need that.
Hey, it's just the fact that it's your right. It's your right to be able to go and purchase a gun, and your right to bear arms, whether you want to go shoot at targets or you want to go hunting or you want to protect yourself in your home. And if bad people are coming for you and they have guns, then you better have one. And that's the bottom line. It's all nice and fair. It's all nice and fairy tale to say, oh yeah, nobody should have a gun, nobody should have them. But the bottom line is, people have them, and the wrong people have them. And those are the people that are risking your life. And if I can't protect myself properly against those people, then I feel underarmed and I feel insecure. And I don't think that's the way I want to live my life. And our forefathers saw the same thing. I mean, we broke away from a nation purposely to be able to have freedom of speech, the right to bear arms, the right to practice our own religion. And the minute you give up those rights, you give all the rights to the government, it becomes socialist, and they take over your country, and you have no rights any longer. So why would we start to give up our rights? Once we start to give up our rights, they're going to inch us back further and further until we have none. So we have to keep them while we have them. Otherwise, we're really just demising ourselves.
Well, to that I say, that obviously, especially during the Bush administration, we gave up so much of our rights, little by little, even habeas corpus, so they can come in and throw us in jail without even giving us a reason or giving us a fucking phone call. Little by little, we've given us a lot of rights. But if you're going to draw the line somewhere, that's not where you draw it. I mean, if you're going to give up any right, it would be to own a machine that could fucking kill anybody. That's what I think. I mean, draw the line after that.
Well, you're right, RVD, and how sick is that? All of us begged for him, too. We begged for the Patriot Act because we were scared that these terrorists were coming into our country and they had it out for us. And it was all just a scam just to be able to get public records and to get into your files and your tax information and to find out, what's really going on. And unfortunately, we were screwed. We were scammed by the whole deal. But that's even more reason to be scared of this government, this machine that's taken over our country, turning us into a socialist nation from a republic, and that's exactly why we have to be armed. If they're not scared of the people and the government isn't ruled by the people, then the people will be ruled and controlled by the government. And that's not how this country was set up. And when you start to give that up, there's no reversing it.
It's interesting talking about guns and their power because basically owning a gun makes you an executioner. We're talking about death penalty today. Everybody is an executioner once they have a gun because they can decide, hey, this person has offended me in this way, committed this crime against me. He's parked on my spot, whatever. He's got to go. I'm going to kill him. So it makes everybody, have the right to make that moral judgment, decide if someone is going to live or die. And
No. That means anybody with a baseball bat, a golf club, a knife can do the same thing.
Well, you're not going to come and ask me with a baseball bat. I feel pretty secure about that, and I'll even take you on with a knife. But if you're a gun, it really levels the playing field. Like we said, a 7-year-old, I think was that kid 7, just got his dad's fiance, baby, that was on the news. He was hiding in the bedroom and fucking boom, shot her in the head. They're trying to figure out I think he's 8. They're trying to figure out what to do with the kid because he's too young even for juvenile and shit. I don't know. We got Bret Hart in Canada. I'm going to go to the calls. I got Matt Denton from England. Cheers, mate.
What's up, Rob? All I'm going to say, Rob?
Yes. Are you powdering?
Yeah, I got a powder, but I just wanted to say my little 2 cents is that I think that, personally, I think that guns are for losers and you have to be careful to end up in a country filled with just losers with guns. I think you can sometimes, if you think long range and you look into the future, you'll see that it's probably safer and better to do away with guns for everybody.
Can you imagine, like, the guy that invented the first gun, if he would have known how many millions of people die because of them, I wonder if he would have done it anyway.
He needed to eat back then. He's probably hunting cattle.
DBU at 903.
Ooh, yeah.
Interesting fact on that RVD. Interesting fact on that RVD. Winchester, the guy who made Winchester rifles, his house was long haunted, or said to be haunted, Winchester Mansion in San Jose, from all the people that had been killed by his guns. Their spirits came back to haunt his residence.
Dude, that's an awesome story, man. Hey, Bret Hart, I really appreciate you calling. I don't want to keep you on. I don't want to keep you on any longer than.
All right, take care.
It's good for you, man. All right, we'll talk soon.
Hey, one more thing before Bret goes, dude. There is only one executioner, and it is Bret the Hitman Hart. Bret, I was a big fan of yours, man. Loved your stuff.
Mahalo, brother.
All right, take care.
Thank you, Bret.
Bye.
Yep, Sonia says bye if you didn't hear it. Bret Hart, man, glad to have him join us for RVD Radio. You know what? He backs me up a lot when everyone else teams up against RVD. Bret's got my back, and I will never forget that. Hey, what the fuck happened to the chat room? It just went crazy. Hey, let me get to these calls. People are holding. They're going, fuck, sure you're going to get to us, RVD. So,
I'm still.
All right, we're going to him right now. Matt Denton from England, you're on the line. You got JMC. Where's Sabu? Sabu might be gone. Who's
I think Sabu's going to wreck another toilet.
You got a big pop from that one, man. Let's give that kid a prize. Hey, so what's going on in England tonight or this morning or whatever the fuck time it is, Matt?
It's definitely this morning. It's 3:02 in the morning. I'm staying up
Yeah.
because I'm hardcore.
Hardcore. You're hardcore.
Awesome, man. Just thought I'd let you know that I've sent Nikki the It's Nothing Like That Penis Breath soundbite. You should be with it next week.
Sweet. Dude, I appreciate it.
Penis breath.
Justin Say No. You remember that line from E.T., right?
Yeah, definitely.
It wasn't anything like that, penis breath, or is it nothing? I want to get the correct. It's nothing like that, penis breath?
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, I got it, dude. That brings me back to being a child. I loved E.T., the movie, just like everybody did. And Gremlins. Remember everybody wanted a fucking Mogwai?
Yeah.
You still do, right?
I still do, and our dog's ears look like little mogwai ears.
I know. Xena is like a Mogwai. Fucking
Just don't get wet.
Yeah, don't get Xena wet, baby. All right, dude. All right, Matt. I had this talk about guns with our limo driver when Sonia and I were over there in London. Remember that, baby? I was doing some kind of promotional shit for WWE, and we had that red-haired girl. It was cool. Anyway, the driver was telling me that in England that you don't have guns everywhere like you do here, that they have it controlled, and that you can own a gun, you got to qualify, and then you keep your gun at the shooting range unless you live on a farm. And so they like really had them under control. So if you got caught with a gun, not under those conditions, it was like big-time heat. You know anything about that, Matt?
Not much, because I don't follow the news that much, because I'm lame. But
you're lame, because you're up all at fucking 3 in the morning instead of when the evening night news is on. But listen, what about guns, dude? Are you able to have a gun? Do you know?
I personally cannot shoot a gun. I've tried once, and that was at a fun fair. Couldn't shoot it. I don't know whether it was just
to make up for it somewhere else, dude. How about the death penalty, man? They used to behead people over there in England, right there at the London Tower. They'd off with her head, and they'd like chop it off and shit. And you guys would pop. You'd be like, yeah. Has that changed at all, or is it still pretty much like that?
I wish that shit was still around. We need a lot of people with their heads cut off.
Pay-per-view.
I think George Carlin said it right when it should be on pay-per-view with people betting on the outcome of the beheadings.
The outcome? I mean, how many ways can it go?
They put 5 numbered holes, and people bet on which hole the head would go through.
Gotcha. That's sick. That's sick, but oh fuck. Sadly, I think I would watch that one.
I'd pay to watch that. I don't pay to watch much, but I'd pay to watch that.
Oh, hey, don't pay to watch porn, by the way. Go to YouPorn or RedTube.com.
XNXX.com.
What is it? MaxX?
XNXX.com.
All right, man. What a perv Matt is, dude. He's up all night looking at porn.
What can I say? I have a lot of free time.
Hey, you got an opinion on the death penalty? Like, you think if people commit horrendous crimes against mankind that we should just fucking kill them?
God, yes. If we don't, then as far as I'm concerned, we're paying for them to live in prison. Where they
I've read 40,000 a year. I read something that said cheaper. We can do it for like 20,000 a year. But yeah, that's our taxes, keeping them alive, and they're supposed to be. I mean, yeah, God, that's a horrible punishment. I would hate to have that in my life inside the walls with a bunch of fucking dirty men. That would suck. But those guys, I mean, you know, they just adjust, and that becomes their life. It's not like they're sitting there really thinking about what they did and regretting it. That's why when they get out, they go and fucking do it again.
Some guys like prison, man.
They like it?
Yeah, I mean, think about it. If you really don't have any goals or dreams or aspirations and you're a predator, you go in there when you're 18 or 19, and that's how you live, and then you come out when you're 29, then you go back in, and you go back in. If something really sucks to you, you're probably not going to do it again, right?
Probably so.
Right, so if you keep doing the same shit over and over again, I mean, that's why prisons don't work. I mean, fuck this. I mean, you're going to kill someone, do 20 years, come out, and then kill someone a week later? Come on, you know?
Yeah.
Right, yeah, and I've heard people, you know, because they're taken care of in there, right?
No, it sucks. I mean, think about this for a second. Jail sucks. I mean, if they took you and they locked you in the Marriott in a suite, after about 2 days, you'd want to jump out the window.
Yeah.
Right?
And I have.
But, I mean, imagine being in jail for 30 years. But, I mean, it's a waste of time, waste of resources. Then they employ all these people with these horseshit programs, pedophile rehabilitation. I've seen this one thing where what they do with these pedophiles is they'd hook up something similar to a jumper cables to their pricks, show them pornographic pictures, and the meter would go up and down. Some of them, they show pictures of children playing in parking lots, thing would go off the charts. How are you going to fix that guy?
That's crazy.
That's
Kids
true.
porno in jail. Wow.
The thing is, with me, I don't know how to fix these people. I don't know if it's even possible, because I have thought about castration and shit, but pedophiles will always find another way.
Hey, JMC, I haven't heard from you in a while. Are you still on the line?
So I'm on the line, and you know, one point I wanted to make about these people, these savages, these killers, is their perception of reality isn't like yours and mine, RVD. They're not kind people, and so I don't think that kind things should be done to these people. They don't register with them. You know, they're killers. They're natural-born killers, and the only thing they respect is killing and slaying people, and the only way to get rid of that is just to eliminate them, you know, and that was a good point. You want to spend, you know, amazing amount of tax dollars, especially now with the economy the way it is. We can't really afford to keep these guys around. We can't really afford to pay the bill for all the jails, and they're even making privatized jails now to hold these inmates where people go and if they have enough money, they can pay to stay on the weekends and different things like that. And it's not even part of the government structure. It's actually a private jail that's owned by a corporation that houses criminals for pay. And so that's a big sign to me that there's too many criminals as is. All the death rows are already full. They said in Florida they're not going to convict that horrible, heinous excuse of a girl who killed her daughter because they don't have room for her on death row.
You mean they're not going to kill her, right?
No. What they decided to do, why the prosecutor is not going to prosecute for the death penalty, is because they don't have room for her on death row, and secondly, it's going to be harder to get a conviction from a jury to kill that woman. So they're going to put her up for life because they know that the compassion of the people will say, yeah, well, let's let her just sit there for the rest of her life and think about what she did instead of putting her on death row that's overcrowded and where they're just going to kill her. So if these death rows are overcrowded and we have that many inmates and that many dangerous killers out there, we got to start eliminating these people.
Dude, it's fucking crazy. Yeah, I always say, I'm sorry, Officer X, I want to hear what you got.
And Justin, you just hit a great point on that, right? I opened the paper today. I see like 7 or 8 cities around where I live have to start charging kids to play soccer and wrestling and basketball and baseball and everything because the cities are broke. But then on the other hand, we got money for special meals for these idiots in prison and lawyers for $15 million appeals and for frivolous lawsuits and doctors and nurses every time they get sick. Enough of this shit. We're spending more money on prisoners than we have on people.
Hey, do you like your music, Officer X?
Everything that said was bullshit.
It's a bit nervous for me because I supplied it.
Yeah, I think I need to work on the timing with it. He probably would like it more if I played it first and then took his call. I might try that next week if I think about it. Awesome. Well, shit. All right, man. All these people waiting. Let me roll on to Nikki Heyman, who's been waiting like forever. Nikki Heyman, welcome to RVD Radio. Say hi to SVD, JMC, Officer X, Matt Denton from England.
And good evening, everybody. Thanks for having me on. Hi, SVD.
So, yeah, you're listening to the show, man. What do you want to tell us?
Well, unfortunately, I'm with you guys about the death penalty. I have watched way too many episodes of Lockup on MSNBC where they take the camera crews into the Supermaxes and try to interview all the crazy inmates and show you what all is going on and what they're trying to do to keep everybody pretty well in order. The overcrowding situation is so bad that, yeah, we might have to start expanding what constitutes who we put to death.
Isn't that crazy that we could just think about, like, there's too many in there, so, okay, just run them through. Just fucking let's kill 200 of them and make room. It's crazy, but that's like, if they're all on death row anyway, why waste time?
RVD, these people have been sitting on death row for 10, 15 years, and maybe even longer. And they've been sitting there waiting to find out whether they're going to die or they're going to get a pardon. And these people are not going to get a pardon. Some lawyers are jockeying for position to see if they can get, wait for this politician to get in office so they can get him to pardon their guy, or whatever they're trying to do, whatever they're waiting for, however long these appeals take. Years and years and years, and they're sitting there. And these people have murdered children. And you're right. What are we waiting for? Why are we wasting our money? Why are we still paying for these people to breathe our air? I don't understand it.
How much do you think California spent on Charles Manson?
Say that again?
How much do you think of your hard-earned tax dollars in the state of California have gone to sustain Charles Manson?
My personal dollars, not any that I would notice. I would say about equal to the dollars that I'm going to spend on Octomom's babies.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Come on, man. Fonzie Daddy, welcome to RVD Radio.
It's great to be back, and I missed every word from you guys. I'm loving the show tonight. RVD, I thought you were in Louisiana doing the movie. That's why I haven't talked to you.
Oh yeah, bro. My shit got postponed until April, so I go to France and I'll be wrestling, and then I get back, and then supposed to roll straight into that movie. So gave me a few extra weeks at home, uncounted for.
Great, Daddy, great. And I can't wait to see you, so I'm going to be seeing you in May, right?
Yes, sir. May 9th up in somewhere near San Jose. I don't remember what the city is in California. The Big Time Wrestling Convention. I think it's in Newark, California.
Yeah, I know it's in the Bay Area. White, Sean White's putting it on. I heard he was a good guy.
Kirk White.
Kurt White, yeah, right. Sorry,
a good friend of mine. That's the only reason I'm doing it. I don't want promoters that are listening to the show to start calling me saying, hey, I want you to come to my show. Kirk, good friend of mine, and plus it's just a short trip from here in L.A. Bret Hart's going to be there. He's going to be there. Justin Credible, who I haven't seen. When's the last time you seen Justin Credible, Fonz?
I guess it's been a couple of years.
Yeah, Daddy, he's going to be there. I had Sabu on earlier. He's going to call back in a few minutes when he's done at the gym, if his mouth is awake. And I got Justin McCully on the line right now. Say hi to JMC, Fonzie.
Hey, what's up, Daddy?
What up, Fonzie? How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Right on. Haven't seen you for a minute, dude. I can't wait to see you. Let's catch up soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, yeah, remember when Justin came, like, way back in the old ECW days, and he came, like, to a New York show or something? He was, where was that, Justin? It was in New York, right?
I think we went to New York, and we went to maybe Boston, I think. Somewhere in, like, a hockey rink or somewhere in Boston. I think we're in New York, at the New York ECW headquarters. The one that was battling with Philly to be the headquarters. What was the name of that spot you got? The venue you used to do it?
It was Queen's Elks Lodge in New York, in the Philly Viking Hall in Philly. And yeah, I remember like you working out with Red Dog in the ring and shit, man. Good times. Good times.
Sure, super good times. That was dope.
So Fonzie, Daddy, let's get your input. We got Nikki Heyman and Matt Denton, some callers on the line, and Officer X has given us his official opinion. What do you think about the death penalty? And is it appropriate to just say, fuck it, let's just kill him and be done with him?
No, I think there should be a process at least, But once you get convicted of a heavy-duty crime, and I've just been recently involved. My daughter, who Van Dam, her husband's grandmother just got mugged. Just got mugged recently. She was 80 years old, healthy, walked to the store every day, lived in the community with older people, and she got mugged, and she died 7 days later. So the guy just had got out of jail in May, served a 20-year sentence for some violent crime, just got out in May, and attacked an 80-year-old woman, and from the attack, she just passed away. I just came from the funeral Monday, Tuesday, and today they buried her. And then, I believe in the death penalty. I don't think they should get all 200 of them and line them up and shoot them, but you get convicted of a horrible crime, and they sentence you to death. They should do it pretty quick. In China or in some places, they'll give you the death penalty in a couple of days, shoot you, and send you the bill for the bullet that killed you to the family.
I've heard about that. Now that sounds like there's some justice in that, at least symbolically.
Yeah, but Van Dam, if somebody does a heinous crime, go ahead and get rid of them, man. The 20-year wait and process court appeals and everything. I don't believe in it, because usually 99.9% of these guys who get convicted and sentenced to death deserve to die. You know what I mean? That's just the way. Yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah, that's a hell of an issue. Down there in Florida, this thing with Casey Anthony, I know that has to be huge news down there. I don't know if you watch TV or not, but I'm guessing it's got to be all over the TV. They're not seeking the death penalty. Justin was saying he thinks, people are going to want to see her sit in jail to think about what she did. I kind of feel like, people are probably more than likely wanting to see her die.
She's going to sit in jail regardless if she gets a death penalty or not. If she gets a death penalty, she's going to sit in jail for 20 years before they execute her. The last time they executed a woman in Florida was, I think, the one where they made the Hollywood movie, The Monster. She was the last one. In Florida, we have the highest death row inmates in the United States. I think there's like 378 or something, and we don't execute them like one a year. You just hear about it once in a while. They just executed a guy here for 15-year murder just this year. So
strange, right? I mean, it's strange to live on death row. If you've been sentenced to death, and that's the deal, that it seems like, okay, well, I guess the benefits of that are we don't have to pay for him, he doesn't have to take up room, we're done with him, but then you don't get any of those benefits, not until you finish the deal. So that's pretty strange. Of course, sometimes someone says they're innocent all the way through, and you have to wonder,
There's so many pros and cons about it, Van Dam, in society in different countries. They don't believe in the death penalty, and here they do, in China they do, and it's just, it's so costly and everything. But I don't have the answer. I wish I did, but I'm a supporter of capital punishment. There's no doubt about it, and the majority of people are. I think the majority of people are. That's why we have it, but it's in every state it's different. In Texas, they got the highest, they eliminate the death row guys the highest. They execute them like French fries, I guess.
Well, dude, let's find out what they do in Iowa, if Mike has any idea. Welcome to RVD Radio, Mike from Iowa.
Hey,
What's up,
Daddy.
Rob?
Hey, man, I've had you on hold for a while. I thought I'd let you through, man. You've been listening to the show. You got something you want to add to Fonzie or Justin Sano, Justin McCully?
Well, first, I just really think it's crap how some of these guys that do, touch these girls and kill them and crap, some get away with it, and then some of them, they just sit in prison and nothing happens to them. They just die of,
Dude,
some old age shit.
I personally have some kind of desire to punish these monsters. Like when I watch America's Most Wanted and stuff like that, I get this something not peaceful stirs in me, and it's just it doesn't, not even just about the kids, just someone that causes unnecessary grief. If they come up and take money and stab somebody and then run off, leave them on the sidewalk, I just wish I could walk up on that right as it happens or afterwards to chase that person down and just destroy their fucking. You know what I mean? I would just crush their skull. I don't know what it is, but it's like I get this negative energy that rises to match theirs, and it's strong. I don't know. These people monsters. So fuck it. No sympathy for me.
No sympathy.
Yeah, I know.
That brings up something, and I just wish a lot of these girls had guns to protect themselves. You know what I mean? And besides that, I really wish that maybe what you said before, RVD, when you were saying, they let these guys sit in jail, and what you were saying, Fonzie, is 20 years they sit in jail before they're executed, and it kind of just dawned on me, like a light bulb flashed in my mind. Do you think maybe the state figured it out, or these states and these institutions, these criminal institutions figured out somewhere along the line that if we keep these people alive, they're worth a lot more to us alive than they are dead. So if we kill them, all we're doing is eliminating our profits. So we need these people alive so we can get their money, so we can build more jails, bigger jails, employ more guards, employ more people, and the machine is really just leeching off the American people and endangering us by not doing their job and killing the people they're supposed to be killing.
There's so many pros and cons. That's why that's happening, But
don't get flustered, Fonzie, Daddy.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm just thinking about different countries. Why do we have the highest per capita incarceration? I mean, there's 3 million people. I mean, it's 1 out of 100. I think in the United States that people are in jail. There's only a little over 300 million people in the U.S. and what? Yeah, Daddy.
Okay, nice.
Hey, RVD, is that Justin Insane on the show tonight?
No, that's me, Fonzie.
No, you're not the badass that was
nice.
that had the gym and the karate guy and the tough man and all that. Is that you, Justin?
That's me.
Sounds like you're talking about Justin McCully, Fonz.
Yeah.
Yeah, he fights for UFC. And he used to be in Tito Ortiz's team, and they'd work out, and he's appeared on RVD TV many times. But yeah, that's my boy Justin you're on the phone with.
Beautiful, great. Now I know who I'm talking to, Daddy.
Yeah, earlier we had.
kind of a cold response. I was like, yeah, we got to catch up, man. You're like, oh, yeah, sure, guy. I was like,
yeah, I'm sorry. I totally didn't get who you were for a second because I loved you. I always liked shooters. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure, baby, because I'm a shooter, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Cool, yo.
Totally, brother, totally.
So now we know.
I'm going to be out in California. I'm going to visit Van Damme, something with the comedy club if that clicks. So I'll be right there. I'm going to be right there.
It's going to be huge, Fonzie. I can't wait to see that comedy project. It's going to be huge. RVD's got something huge in the works for this comedy project. Everybody's got to stay tuned for that. It's going to come up probably maybe some teasers on RVD TV and whatnot. But yeah, dude, I can't wait to see you, brother. I got a present for you when you get out here too.
Oh, and I bet you I can guess exactly what it is. And I'm there with you, Daddy. I can't wait. I'm excited to be on RVD Radio. I'm excited to talk to RVD, and I did not forget to, I don't believe I forgot to say hello to the Indian princess, but hey, is she there?
What's up, Fonzie?
Hey, what's up, Daddy?
She's doing awesome, Fonzie.
I am so happy about that.
You'll see her, too, when you come out. May 9th, we have that show out in California we're doing for Kirk White. We were just talking to... Who the hell were we talking to? Brett's going to be on that, and... who the hell were we just talking to? Maybe it was you I was talking to. But anyway, Michael Porter from California, he's going to be there, too, aren't you, Michael?
I'm sure to do my best to make it down there, RVD. I want to meet you in person, and I just have so much to say about the death penalty. I think if somebody kills somebody, if they molest a young child, I think their punishment ought to be the exact same thing. If they kill somebody with a gun, with a knife, they ought to be killed with a gun or a knife. If they molest a child,
what if they fuck this little kid first, and then torch them a little bit and then kill them? Should it be somebody's job to like hold the other end of a broomstick and like kind of like invade their anal territories before they kill them?
I think they ought to be thrown into a cell with a lifer in prison, maybe Bubba, and let Bubba take over for a while before they execute the guy.
You're fucked
up. Bubba on your package, what?
Yeah, you want Bubba Dubby to be in jail with them?
No. If there's a lifer in there,
I understand what you're testifying about, brother, but here's how it should be. Get convicted of a heinous crime, killing a kid, an old person, whatever the case may be. If you get convicted of murder, go through the process, go to jail, within a year, get executed, you're done and gone. That's right, Daddy.
I don't think they should be given even a year. I think, 6 months at the most.
I was saying in some countries they do it immediately. I mean, if it's a heinous crime, immediately, like that same week, you're, but it's not going to change overnight. It's going to take a lot of people, a lot of phone calls, a lot of talk shows, a lot of political bullshit to get this thing rolling, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. But it's going to give us something to talk about for the rest of our lives. You know what I mean? We're not going to.
We got to make sure we're killing the right people. You don't put somebody on death row just for being the world's largest distributor of marijuana.
Who stole the fucking dope?
That's right, Daddy.
Yeah. So all right. Well,
I didn't take the dope. I promise.
All right, Michael Porter. I think.
Hey, RVD, you know what?
I'll tell you what. Let me say this. I'll mute you all if I have to. This is my show, damn it.
Hey, I don't mind being quiet.
RVD, motherfucker!
That's right, Daddy.
Porter, let me say this. I think that your comment is the best one I've heard on the whole show so far. Somebody like these monster criminals, they should go out the same way that they did.
No.
Hey. It's inhumane or what?
No, I mean, we got to be a little better than them. I mean, anything you're going to do, you got to do a little bit dignified. I mean, so some guy sets somebody on fire. You can't just go throw gas on him and set him on fire. Or
I'm sure their family would appreciate that if you did.
Yeah, but you can't do it like that.
Probably offer.
You got to do shit. You got to do things in a dignified way. A lethal injection or hang him or something or shoot him. You can't go around doing that type of stuff because you got to be a little better than the people that do it.
Right, that's society.
What I was talking about.
On fire?
What I was talking about was having the penal institution do, the punishment. I'm not talking about just sending somebody out there to do the same thing to them. I'm saying have it done in the penal institution. That's what I feel, because I've lost friends to violent deaths. I've lost friends to drunk drivers. I've lost friends to murder, and I'm going to say something right now that I didn't think I was going to say on worldwide radio. I was molested as a child.
There you go. Special, truthful moment here. This is the bonding and the closeness and the connectivity we do here. All right. Now, obviously, Michael, that's a very serious moment. So the first question that pops up is, this person that did that, where are they now?
Well, this person, who was the father of my best friend as I was growing up, he was arrested, and he was found guilty of molesting over 500 young boys.
Wow.
He died in prison. He died of cancer in prison.
Wow. That's
Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Good.
Fuck him.
But I put that in the back of my mind. I just totally blacked it out for years and years until I started having a series of dreams. I couldn't come to the final part of the dream until one day. Then I realized what the dream was all about, and I realized and I remembered what had happened to me.
Wow.
And I don't want that, on any child, boy or girl. So in my own ways, I have. That's why I say let the punishment fit the crime. If they're going to do something like that to somebody, it ought to be done right back to them.
Okay, now I have a question for you, Michael. This
Yes.
is me interviewing you because you are the candidate that is qualified to answer this question. I was talking with Sonia and somebody else the other day about an issue very, very similar to this. And somebody, I can't remember who it was, but they were saying that somebody who molests a young child like that they should be put to death because they have, in essence, killed part of that kid. Me, looking at it, just looking at it, standing back looking at it, it sounds to me like it's not the same at all. And some of the, and I mean, no disrespect for what you've been through intended whatsoever, but for someone to argue that going through a sexual molestation as a kid actually is throughout life as damaging as you can compare to being killed, I don't get that. I think there's a lot of successful people out there who have had some trouble in the past. I mean, there's a lot of girls that are dancers. The entire adult entertainment industry is there because these people, were probably molested when they were really young. And I'm just using them as an example of saying that whoever the culprits were, the predators, I'm not sure they should be put to death as if they killed somebody because, yes, they traumatized and lowered the quality of life, prospectively, for sure, for their victims, but it's really, to me, not the same thing as killing somebody.
No, it's not. But
thank God, right now the penalties for molestation and rape on the young victims under 12 years old has gotten so hard with all these different laws being passed in the last 5 years. So we're in the right direction. I mean, deal with this harsh as we can. Get these guys out of action, and then the ones on death row are completely different. That's capital murder, then that's death row. But thank God we're dealing with that.
All right, Fuzzy. Let me get Michael's response to what I said. And the question would be, am I wrong for thinking that?
I don't
it's not
think
the same.
No, it's not the same. However, in one aspect, even though they may not have killed somebody, they killed a child's innocence.
I get that.
They killed a child's innocence, and I was very, very lucky. Like I said, I blacked it out for so many years. You know, it did not affect me in the same way as it will affect a young girl or a young boy nowadays. You know, they will suffer irreparably. You know,
Michael,
they will be going through years and years of therapy.
Therefore, do you believe that somebody that is the predator in a situation like that should possibly be put to death?
Only if the molestation caused the death of the child, the actual physical death of the child.
Sure, that goes without saying.
Yeah, if the child lives, whatever style of life that they have for the rest of their lives, that ought to be considered. But I don't think that a hideous crime like this that did not result in death, I don't think somebody should be put to death for that. But if it's murder, if it's anything like that, I think the death penalty is apropos there.
Right.
That's right, Daddy.
Okay, yeah, well, appreciate your call for sure. As always, appreciate your honesty. I'm going to try and get through some more people because everyone's calling. I'm even going to go to this one real quick here. What's up, Benji and Teddy?
Hello there, how are you?
Oh, I see how it is. You got it under control tonight, huh?
Hey,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
All right, man, how you doing? Good?
Just fine.
Good, yes.
Good, man. Well, good to hear from you guys. Okay, you said, I'm anxious to hear it. What you got?
Oh, by the way.
I'll say it because I know what it's supposed to be.
Yes.
My personal opinion would be that somebody would have to deserve to get it, but I think it should be because it's fair for it to happen, but only if the crime is heinous enough.
Oh, well, yeah.
The other thought would be, does my state have it? Like, do you know what state does and doesn't have it? I don't know that.
Right on. Okay, yeah. Well, I appreciate your call, appreciate your input. Let me go. Is this after his workout? Here we go. It's a post-workout homicidal Sabu.
That's right. Mushy, mushy.
Mushy, mushy, Sabu. Got Fonzie on the line, Daddy.
Right on. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you great. Sound like you're walking home from the gym in freezing-ass Michigan.
Hey, did Sabu use the toilet at the gym?
Who are you? I'm sorry.
That's it. Dude.
No, I'm leaving the gym now.
Okay, cool. Well, you have rejoined us. You've rejoined us, Sabu, on RVD Radio. I got Mike Usnick on the line calling because he wants to be on RVD Radio with Sabu, Justin McCully, Fonzie, Officer X, SVD, and all the free thinkers of RVD Radio. All right, what up, Mike?
Nothing. What's up, man?
Dude, we're just jamming like we do on Wednesdays. It's always a good show, provoking thought. Have you thought at all while you're listening to this?
Yeah, I agree with what Michael Porter said. People should be punished the same way they punish their victims.
Yeah, eye for an eye.
Ooh, there's Sabu backs them up too. Officer X was saying we have to rise above. One thing I will say, if we do that, then we prove my point that the executioner, prospectively, is no worse than the person that he's killing. If he's doing it the same way, that makes him.
You're right. You're right.
I'll just say right now that if I'm going to sign up for the executioner job, I'd rather shoot somebody than stick a broomstick in their ass, dude. I'm just telling you that right now.
I'd rather get shot than shoot somebody.
I'd rather.
I want to shoot my family though.
I'd rather not take the money shot.
I heard a very wise man recently. A very wise dude told me that within.
You're hung like a moose doesn't mean you got to do porn.
Decent.
All I like when Sabu's on it. He always laughs at my shit.
Is this on?
All right, dude, you're all on. So Mike agrees with Michael Porter.
RVD.
I think they should bring back public hangings.
In and out.
Bring back public hangings. Dude, fuck. Maybe. I mean, at least the family. Is the family allowed to watch the person? I think they are sometimes.
Yes. They can.
Okay, because that's really who it's for. I think besides taking that member out of society, the feeling of justice will come from the family of the victims, I guess. God, it's so horrible and unnecessary. And if any of my fans out there listening are murderers, child fuckers, predators, do the right thing. Don't waste our tax money. Just kill yourself.
Got to clean it up.
Oh, you did not just say that.
If you got a little kid in your closet or you got someone tied up, fucking let them go first. Somebody needs them, and then kill yourself. Don't waste our money and do it in a way. Do it in a
kill yourself.
Be considerate. Like, leave yourself somewhere where it's not going to be a big mess for people to clean up.
Like Chris Benoit.
I don't know about that. Ooh.
He left the
boo. The room got
awkward. Nobody puts baby in a corner. See ya. And saying what? Ow, later.
What?
Justin, that was Justin leaving, man. Justin was shouting out, all right, listen, KT from South Carolina in the deep south. What's going on, KT?
Not much, man. Just enjoying my New Year, doing what I do, But I called last week, and I wanted to say something to Sandman and Chris Masters.
Oh, man, neither one of them are here today. But you know what? I'm probably going to get Sandman on next week if you want to save it.
Oh, yeah, but what I got to say now is about you.
Let's hear it, dude.
RVD.
KT to RVD, one-on-one.
No, but I got to ask a question. What's your thoughts on the present version, WWE's version of ECW? What's your thoughts?
It's no comparison.
It's the same, yeah. I mean, my opinion is the same as yours. It's no comparison. It's
close.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks. They called me to get a quote from me because they said that Terry Funk is being inducted into the Hall of Fame. He's the first ECW heavyweight champion, so they wanted my quote because of that. And I said, well, I mean, good for Terry, good for ECW, but it's going to further confuse people by blurring the line between the original ECW, the Innovators, and this new group that Vince calls ECW. And, that really, it's a shame because ECW makes me think of those guys back then and what they did, the way they busted their ass. Right now, ever since they opened it back up with Vince, they changed the guys out so often it's hard to remember, who's even part of ECW, and they would send guys from the other groups there thinking they're going to help put a spotlight on it, and they do angles with the guy from Raw and the guy. I don't know, dude. It's if you like Raw or you like SmackDown, then I guess you might like ECW too. If you just like the old ECW and you don't like Raw or SmackDown, then it's probably not for you.
Right. Hey, can I make a comment on that? I was at the show Monday night.
Yes, you were at the Fleet Center in Boston, Massachusetts. Officer X had an appearance.
Yeah, I was there, and it's a watered down thing, and I mean, Dreamer's the only real ECW guy who's still left out there, and it's not even. They really shouldn't call it ECW. They're doing it a major disservice. No, and you know what it is?
Close.
No, and most of the guys there, I mean, they bring them through to get them ready for their push on Raw.
That's supposed to be a minor league for them. Well, they're full of shit.
No, I'm with you,
I think Mike Samayoa has it right. It's WWECW.
Right.
That's right, Daddy.
It's not even that. It's Ohio Valley with the two name guys.
Yeah. So, there you go, man. Thanks for your question, KT. And I'm going to call Sam. I talked to him the other day.
ECW sucks.
What?
I said ECW sucks.
Okay. Thought you said Sam.
I've been there, I know. I've been there, I know.
All right,
Sandman. Hey, yo.
Yo.
Michigan freezing my balls off.
Billy B from Mississippi. What's up, dude?
Where's Dave?
Nothing, man. What's going on?
Where's Dave?
Dave was at the hardware store buying more plungers.
I hope so.
And a drill. Plungers and a drill. I don't know, an underwater drill.
For his ass, of course.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Billy B from Mississippi. What's up, dude?
Nothing, man.
You listening to the show? I know you are.
The death penalty is a good thing. I think that's it's all based on morals and ethics. The jury, we should,
jury.
But, okay, that's cool, but we have to say throughout time, that's always been the case. But if we look back in time, it doesn't seem so just anymore. When we look at, like, some of the things we did back in the day, we're like, wow, well, at the time, the people said that was the right way to go. But looking back, fuck, we used to kill people for that. I mean, it's possible in the future we might look back and look like, what the fuck were we doing? We're animals. It's possible.
Well, God's the ultimate judge. But on this earth, we elect officials to be our judge. Well,
yeah, and usually we're not happy with the officials. Usually, like,
Right. Well, but that's,
nature of voting.
What can I do, man? I can't change the world.
I don't know, man. Billy B, and what can Sabu do, man? You can't change the world.
Judge. What? Sabu did what?
Penis
I like.
Okay, don't wait for me. It's not me, penis breath.
Well, of all the name.
Yeah, all right.
What?
All right, so, shit, man, we're winding down.
Say something.
What?
I said, I'm freezing my balls off. Say something.
All right, well, we got about 10 more minutes, and,
okay.
The show's going to come to a fold, man. I think we covered a lot. We talked about death penalty. We talked about the new American policy with medical marijuana.
Yep.
Guys are watching the change. You have to understand you're on the front line of this change, man. We're gonna see it go from there to see us looking at the money it brings in when we tax and regulate it to fucking ending marijuana prohibition, just like they ended alcohol prohibition to get us out of the depression in the 30s. That's what's gonna do it. Bam.
What year do you think that's going to happen, Van Dam? When is that going to actually happen? In 5 years? Is it going to take 5 years or 10 years?
And I say in between, probably, Fonzie, but that's my guess. But, with Obama and with the country in the shitty position that it's in,
right.
You never know. It could happen a lot faster. I would have said it was on the track to being done in the next 10 years just because of the pace of watching city by city and state by state, watching them improve their laws, decriminalizing it more, and also, legalizing it medically. And I've been watching that, and I figured, we do about a state a year or so, and then we got about 4 states that are going to jump on it, it looks like right now. And then, pretty soon that's going to be half the states of the country, and they're going to have to quit their denial and take a look at it. And, of course, we spend $7 billion a year just to fight it and arrest people and try and keep it prohibited. Forget about that $7 billion and think more about the, who knows, $50 billion plus that we could bring in from taxing it and regulating it, and also uncover the truth about it. Do some honest research on it. Quit saying, oh, it's harmful, it's deadly, and look at it and see if it really is, because we can't keep ignoring the fact that nobody's ever died from it. How can we keep ignoring that?
Well said.
Yep, so very excited about that. I'm on top of that movement, and I will keep everybody posted on that as I learn it. The Wrong Side of Town movie got postponed until April, so I am here again. Next week, the 11th of March, we will do the last RVD radio show for a little while. And after that, hey, Blog Talk Radio producer Nikki, can you jump online real quick? I always surprise her like that, but she doesn't mind.
You're lucky I'm here and not out smoking.
Is that what you do there on our show?
No, I don't. I stay here the whole time, I swear.
Do you know that 1 out of every 2 cigarette smokers dies prematurely?
Okay, but it's your time to go. It's your time to go. You're going to die no matter what, of cancer or in a plane crash or in a car wreck. So whatever.
Are you serious? So you think if you smoke and then you die at 32 of lung cancer, you think that was just natural?
Hell yeah, that was meant to be. It was my destiny to die when I'm going to die.
You know, I appreciate the words, but it doesn't apply. If I go jump off a cliff and kill myself, I can say, well, shit, that was my time to go.
That's right. It was your time. Who are you to decide when it's my time?
You got a crazy producer, man.
Hey, Nikki, next week is the 11th of March, and after that, Sonia and I are going to be gone for a few Wednesdays.
Okay, well, what do you want me to do?
You know the deal. You can run some old archive shows, or...
All right.
Yeah,
we'll
if you...
Everybody in the chat says a fan show, but that didn't go over so well when you called in because I'm not a good guest and I took over the show, so we might do a fan show, but if you call in, you have to take over, okay?
Everything that guy just says is bullshit. Thank you.
Hey, I think you should let Fonzie guest host 1 week.
Sorry.
How about you, Officer X, right?
No, I don't have any Wednesdays off. But I think Fonzie should guest host.
I would work with him. That's right, Daddy.
You know, I get actually offers from that, you know. Sabu's even offered that before. I got people saying, hey, if you ever want me to host, like, but really, I mean, with the switchboard and everything, you know, I don't know, but I don't give a fuck what happens when I'm gone, you know. You can even not run any shows while I'm gone if you want. That's fine, too.
We'll replay shows, or we'll do one, or whatever.
France.
Hey, can we get Sabu to host it from Dave's house?
Oh my God, no!
Oh, that's really Dave hosting it.
I'd pay to see that.
Hey,
I'd pay to see that.
Hey, the special guest, the Roto-Rooter guy.
I'd pay for that.
Hey, Sabu, you know what one of my favorite parts of that story was? He acts like he doesn't even shit. He doesn't even eat that motherfucker.
I'm going to destroy you.
I'm going to destroy that dude.
He said that. Right.
That was so angry.
Dude, that was the most downplayed archive. We even listened to it a few times.
It's the best ever. I cried. I was laughing.
Awesome. Don't embarrass me.
Oh, man. You're hardcore. You're hardcore.
I just wonder if the plumbing inspector let him rebuild. And then no one's seen Master since he went in the room.
Oh, no shit.
Master's a little funny, too, you know.
Oh, man, that's true.
He's gay as a mackerel. I'm gay as a mackerel.
He's what?
It smells like someone pooped in my mouth.
Hey, your uncle pissed in my boot. No, your dad pissed in my uncle's boot.
Rob, do you remember that?
What, him saying that? No.
Sheik.
That was great.
It tastes like someone pooped in my mouth, he said.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one.
That was great.
Wait, the best part of the whole thing, y'all, I don't know if you haven't heard it, you've got to download last week's show. The best part of it was Rob in the background laughing so hard, belly laughing. You got to hear it. So anyway.
I was laughing pretty hard, too.
I thought you really wanted to fuck him up.
Well, I do, but I laugh about it.
No, really, Sabu wants to stay at his house for a few days and hang out with him as soon as possible.
It'll only take about 20 minutes. I'll kill him.
Yeah.
20 minutes and I got to get out of there.
Uh-oh. Hey, we got time to call Dave real quick? No, I'm just joking.
Stop.
Hey.
He's probably dieting right now.
Hey. So, anyway, when I'm gone, when Sonia and I are gone, we'll figure out what to do. I mean, I really don't care if the show doesn't run at all, and then we come back huge and bigger and stronger.
We could call from France. We could call from France.
Oh, it'd be pretty hard, dude, especially figuring out the time difference. And you can't host a 2-hour show when you're on the road.
Oh, we'll try.
We can try to call in if somebody else is hosting the show. You know,
yeah, see, let's work that
I
out.
enjoy it. Yeah. I'd like to because I really enjoy sitting here talking to everybody on the phone.
I don't want to talk to these cocksuckers, but you have to.
What's the date?
Call Nicky.
Oh, you guys talked right over my joke.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
right?
Again. Try it again.
Okay. Well, hold on, let me reset. No, wait, you're early. Wait, here we go. Yeah, I'm going to try to find a way because I really enjoy doing this.
I don't want to talk to these cocksuckers, but you have to.
Wow, that was worth doing a second time. That got over much bigger than I expected it to.
Great.
All right, I'm going to go to Josh from Indiana calling in with the last few minutes of RVD Radio. What up, Josh?
What's up, Rob?
Dude, man, we're just having a good show. I got, who do I got? Officer X, our law enforcement correspondent from the East Coast. Sabu and Fonzie are on the line, and me and Sonia Van Dam are here. How are you?
What's going on, everybody? I'm doing great. You guys are pretty much my heroes since I was like 11 years old. I'm 22 now. Still my heroes.
Right on, man. Hey, Sabu, I used to watch you when I was this high.
RVD, motherfucker! Rob, I know you're a big comic book fan. I got a question for you. What do you think about the Watchmen movie coming out?
You know, I'm looking forward to it. You know, I'm planning on seeing it, but if I don't see it, it won't kill me. I didn't watch that Spirit or whatever. It looks pretty good. I didn't read the book, so I'm not that familiar with it. The one that I definitely for sure won't miss is Origins, the Wolverine movie.
Yeah, they just released the Watchmen on like a animated comic book online. You should definitely check that out. You can download it for free. It's unbelievable.
Sabu's a big comic book fan. You can hear him excited. Well, you have commercials for Watchmen, Sabu? It's a movie, not a comic book. A movie.
You got to check it out. They put it on they made it like animated online. It's unbelievable. You got to check it out. They have it on iTunes for like $2 an episode, but you can download it off like a torrent. You can find it if you search it into like Google. You can like find it real easy. It was unbelievable. It was the shit.
Sounds cool, dude.
Can I just say what up to Sabu real fast? Sabu, you're my favorite of all time.
I don't understand English.
Oh, sorry, man. Yo lo soy autorite coco.
No, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I've been a big fan for a long time, and I was wondering if you ever gave like the possibility of like taking I feel like wrestling's really lacking like a good heel these days, and I feel like you would be the man for that. Like you can really revolutionize shit right now. You got the best head in the business. You've been doing unbelievable shit your whole career, and I really think that if you took a heel turn, you can really revolutionize the sport right now. It's really in shambles right now, and I think you'd be an amazing heel.
What about it, Sabu? I heard WWE's even interested in you.
I mean, that shit would be awesome. Bring back that like original Sheik type shit, like come back, make wrestling fun again, Sabu. You're the fucking shit, and if there's anyone who can do it, it's you, man. I'm telling you.
Sabu.
Brother, it's not up to me, but I wish I could.
Dude, you're the fucking shit, man. I just want to tell you, honestly, from like the bottom of my heart, I love you, man.
Hey, I understand this is Fonzie, but I understand what you're saying about Sabu making a switch and being a big heel. That would be great. And you know what? He'd probably be the only guy that can get away with it and do it. Sabu is that good. You're right, brother.
Because they're looking like Terry Funk, like creating like his whole career, like moving, like he's done so much, but then like once he like reinvented himself into ECW, he was a top guy again. I see Sabu, coming back. I know he hasn't been wrestling as much recently, coming back with this straight heel turn and just shocking everyone's minds, like bringing the fire back, like just like not even like having to jump through a table every, like doing that same shit, like just bring back some new old school wrestling, like bringing back the colorful boots with the colorful sash, like just bringing shit back.
Yeah, dude, man, that's not a bad idea, Sabu. The people would love it. I heard even the WWE's interested. Hey, speaking of marks, Mr. Officer X, what's that thing you're doing with Bob Backlund? When is that?
Oh, yeah. 2 dates. March 27th, Danbury Arena, Danbury, Connecticut. Come meet Officer X and Bob Backlund. March 28th, Hardcore Reunion. Hardcore Reunion, Allentown, Pennsylvania. Go to www.wrestlingmarks.com. All the ECW guys will be there. Bob Backlund will be there. Officer X will be there.
Fonzie said he'll be there.
Bob Backlund.
Awesome. Yeah, RVD won't be there, man. But all right, thanks, guys, man. That's the end of the show. So, Sabu, thanks for calling in, brother. Fonzie, thanks for calling in. Brett the Hitman Hart, fucking Off the Rex, all the free thinkers.
Word.
Did we have another restaurant on there? I can't remember. I think that's it. Death penalty, yo. We covered it. Say bye, baby.
Bye, baby.
Word.
That's right, Daddy.
Bye, baby.
Your destination is RVD TV and RobThatDeath.com.
From Battle Creek, Michigan, Mr. Pay-Per-View, former television champion, ECW, high-flying, charismatic, energetic. Here we go, he's Rob Van Dam, the whole epic show. RVD, all the fans are on their feet. Someone setting up a chair, somersault through the air, flying deep into the crowd. Everybody screaming loud, holy shit, hit him with a spinning kick. Van Daminator, bam, harder than a battle ramp, even like a luchador. RVD is something more, knowledge of the martial arts, innovative repertoire, bad skills, top notch, really fun to watch. Yeah, 5-star frog splash, no one's getting up from that. Shoulders to the bat, fights out in the match. Rob Van Dam. So now comes the super disruptor of Earth. It is Rob Van